let's kick this off, shall we, Chris? 'Cause we've got a lot to go. We just thought
Oh,
this month we'd start by doing something different, getting everybody involved in the chat. So before we get into the updates, pop into the chat your bank holiday and how it was in emojis. So I'll go first. We had pizza, bit of family time. One of my kids had a rugby tournament, bit of wine, bit of gardening, bit of cleaning. There we are.
so loads of stuff. I can't find the emojis for being ill and having a sick child, and there's probably a skull and crossbones, and yeah, we'll stay away from that. We'll see whatever other people can pop in. We should kick off.
Yeah, let's do it.
So it's our April HubSpot update. You can already see pictures of us. So we're going to start with, we are going to talk about agents.
I was just going to say, no, Jem, this month. She's actually with a client today, but should be back next month as per usual.
To keep us in order.
Yeah.
We're going to start off talking about agents. Now, this is interesting. It's always, do stick it in the chat pane if you've turned on any agents. I think this is the big new thing that we've got going on in HubSpot right now. We're actually going to start off with the customer agent. So excuse me, I'm going to actually go and demo this. Has anyone, again, put it in the chat pane, has anyone actually started using the customer agent yet? Always interesting to see if people are getting stuck in. So the customer agent, it's actually been around a little bit. We've seen a couple of iterations. We're not going to be able to go too much in depth, but I think we probably ought to do a proper whole webinar about this one because it's really fun and interesting. But essentially, the customer agent, as you can see, we've got it set up. I've called mine Barry White. And we can basically, we've got an agent that can respond to chat, that can talk to people, and it can actually now, we can connect the customer agent to APIs into other systems. So if you've got an ERP system and you've got customers that are ordering and you're doing order fulfillment, you can actually connect the customer agent to that system via the API, and your customers can come on, and in the chat, they're going to be able to actually work out what's going on with their order, meaning you don't have to worry about it. I think that's really, really nice. And yeah, that's just connect it up, and we can help with that sort of thing, obviously, can't we?
But Chris, how long did it take you to set up?
Just set up, well, I mean, to configure it by using an API would take a bit of time, and I'd probably need someone else. But realistically, the customer agent setup, so the first thing we do is we add content so that the customer agent has something to read. So we fed in the BabelQuest website, and you can see we can add files, we can add short answers, and we can add HubSpot content. And you can see there's some blogs, there's various things. And literally then we go to config, we give it a name, give it an avatar, give it a role, and give it a personality. And that's more or less it. The handoff, if we are going to have people talking to it and needing handoff to real human beings, you need to set up handoff messages here. But beyond that, that's pretty much it. And then we connect it to a channel, and we've got an agent in our chatbot that can search all sorts of things and tell people when their order's going to be delivered.
Oh, that's great.
I think that's really nice. We'll move on to the next one because it's all about the customer agent. In this case, we talked about connecting it to different channels and setup. We can also assign it to an email channel. So your help me at email address, we can connect to the customer agent. And again, we're just taking away a little bit of an extra step. We're making I hate to use the word seamless because it's all over the place at the moment and we shouldn't use it. But customers are actually going to be able to find things out if they're emailing. And I think HubSpot support are probably using that at the moment. So if you've had a response from them via email, probably coming from the customer agent. So really nice. It's in Service Pro as well, so we're not looking for, we don't need to have enterprise to do that. And moving on from there, we also have a knowledge base agent, don't we?
Yeah, and Adrian was just asking about whether the agent relies on developing a knowledge base first.
And here we go. So actually, and this is really cool. One of the things that the agent is going to do. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So if you can see performance on screen here, you can see there's this new bit called knowledge gaps. And previously, what we could do, we can see information not found, and we can create an answer. And the knowledge base agent, which I don't have access to yet, is an extension of that. What it's going to do is it's going to look for gaps in our knowledge and it's going to fill them.
Yeah. So obviously the knowledge base agent, we'd need to have a knowledge base, but for the previous one, the customer agent, you don't necessarily need to have a knowledge base, do you?
No, I mean
Yeah.
it's AI. So the more material we can give it to train on, the better it's going to be. If we've got a 3-page website that just says buy something, the agent's not going to be much good if we trained it on that. But you don't need a knowledge base to start with, and actually perhaps we can start filling a knowledge base from here. But I think the whole agents thing means that having a knowledge base is becoming much more important than before, so we can help people self-serve.
Thank
Ooh,
you.
what is next? Oh, let's go. Breeze Content Agent. I think has everybody seen the Content Agent now?
I think
Not
we've
really
talked about it
seen
a couple
it.
of
We've
times.
we
Yeah.
we have talked about it, and it is. Is everybody getting on well with the new menu structure?
No, it was always
No.
these things. Any change to the
I,
navigation throws everybody off, right?
Yeah, I trained a team yesterday, and I think at some points I looked like I'd never seen HubSpot before. So the content agent again, we're talking agents, but we can now create landing pages, and just a very very quick look. We're telling it what we want it to do. We can upload our downloadable content, and we then have the chance to start defining our idea. And it's worth playing with this because it actually comes up with some pretty good stuff. I am perpetually surprised by the performance of agents. I think I'm just got that
Surprised in a
sort
good
of
way, just to clarify.
yes, yes. No, well, the prospecting agent, boy,
Yeah.
do I love that.
Yeah.
But we can use the content agent to build our landing pages. We can also create case studies. It's the biggest. I find it tends to be the biggest problem. Back when I worked in sales, you'd ask for a case study, and then 18 months later, you'd be given a case study. Brilliant. Can we go back in time? Content agent will help you do that much, much faster. So do have a go with it. And I think we don't really need to talk about use cases there. It's just let's have
Yeah.
case studies for every engagement if possible. The social media agent. Now we don't have that in our test portal, but we can quickly dip into it in BQ because it's not really personal identifiable data. But it's basically we can go into our social and you can see that the agent has actually started suggesting social posts, mostly joining us. There you go, webinars and all sorts of things. So actually, if you're a small marketing team and you want to make sure that you're getting regular social going out, then it's definitely worth dipping into and having a look at the social agent. And I'm going to avoid going too far down that rabbit hole because we have time against us, unfortunately. So where are we? We're into the smart CRM layer, and we're up to you, Amy. Would you like the sharing?
I would. Let's do
Okay,
that.
there we
Well,
go.
yeah. Well, let's stick with you for now, and then we'll just when I do the demo on the next one, we can swap over. So the
Okay,
first one's
right.
conversational enrichment for email. And I'm really excited by this one. It's in beta right now. So if you would like to utilize the functionality, you need to opt in. But it's essentially is an AI-powered feature that helps teams automatically capture and enrich contact and sales data from unstructured email conversations. If you have Breeze, a Breeze plan, then it's free, the contact enrichment side of things. But only if you have bulk credit plans, so one-off 1,000 or 10,000 credit plans, will you be able to access the returning to office detection, job change detection, and new contact extraction. But during this beta, the enrichment events won't consume any credits. So I think I'd say it's well worth exploring this. So with the contact enrichment, HubSpot will be able to automatically update emails, job titles, and other details from email interactions. The returning to office detection, I think, is amazing. You allow your sales team to prioritize outreach when prospects indicate they're returning to the office. Obviously, a key moment often for purchasing decisions. And marketing could also adjust the timing of their campaigns as well. I think, again, the job change detection, great for sales teams. You can identify when a key decision maker changes jobs, maybe opening opportunities for account expansion or re-engagement at their new company. And maybe the customer success teams can get ahead of potential churn by proactively reaching out when key contacts leave an account as well. And then the new contact extraction, again, I just thought it was just great. Allow sales teams to potentially add and qualify new contacts from ongoing conversations as well. And obviously for marketing, it means expanding the database with engaged and high intent contacts as well. So it basically works by running in the background, and each of the features are enabled via the data enrichment settings under tools as well. And then all these events appear in the event feed when records are created or updated, so you can easily see what's changed. So I thought this was a really exciting one. So
Nice. Like that.
let me see if this is now working. Current share.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
I can
So
see trees.
um, there we go. Can you see my buyer intent screen now? Brilliant. So buyer research intent is a new part of buyer intent. And again, this is another beta. And this is based on research topics. So what I've done is I set up a couple of research topics based on aerospace and healthcare and automotive there. So created a whole load of research topics. So you can create up to 20. And then when you've set those up, you can combine these research topics by interest level. So I can just look at the ones that are of high interest, for example. And I can also combine these with target markets. So if you've got your target market set up, you can then see exactly which are showing for your target market. So again, this could be really good for adding new companies to HubSpot that don't already exist in your database. Again, you can use the filters just to flip between those that are in your CRM versus not in your CRM. And you can see it's very easy to then add to your companies. Now, these are all locked because we don't have Breeze credits within our test portal. But if you have a Breeze plan, you'd be able to do this and be able to add them. Again, you'd need to have the bulk plans to be able to see more than 3 at a time, but you can certainly play around with different filters to get this information. So really great to be able to engage accounts early in their buying journeys, so you don't have to necessarily wait till they submit a form, etc. You can gauge customers that are shopping around as well. And again, it's brilliant to have this all in one place, so you're not going to use other platforms and to get this information. And really, I guess, by being part of this buyer intent view, I think it really brings all your ABM bits together.
It kind of helps stop that spray and pray sales approach as well, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. The fact that, if you are using target accounts, that you can use that as a filter as well, can make sure you're prioritizing those that are being targeted perhaps by marketing as well. Cool. Next one.
What's next?
Just go to slideshow view. So this is the intelligence tab for contacts. So when you're going to look at a contact, you'll see a new intelligence tab. This is live, and it just basically gives you helpful context about that contact and highlights what additional information you might be able to get if you were using enrichment as well. This Ask Breeze action in workflows. Let me just jump in here. I have prepared a little bit I can copy and paste. Here we go. So here we go. So we've got a workflow that Chris has already built, which basically takes a record, summarizes it, and then emails it internally to his boss, should we say. So if I wanted to add in an action via Breeze, I just click the plus here, and then I can say Ask AI, Ask Breeze, and then I can put in a message. So I think this is one thing we did show before, so I'll go through it quite quickly. So I've just said here, I want help categorizing companies. So using the email domain, I'm going to ask Breeze to sort out whether it's a manufacturer, an importer, or a designer of goods and services. So when I've put in my prompt, you can always test the action. So again, I'm going to use Chris to his record within our test portal to test this, and you can see that the company he works for is being tagged as a designer, so you can see this now works. So I can just click save now, and then you can see it's just been added. So makes it really quick. I think, as always, we've tried to highlight the key thing is getting that prompt right. And that's often what takes the most amount of sort of time. But make sure you use that test bit, because I find that really useful.
This stuff's really cool because it has a wow factor for your team as well. We did a session on adoption and AI, and I think all these things that are a bit wow are going to help your team really get on board with the system.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on, smart properties. So this one, again, blew my mind. I was speaking to Jem about how we were using it, how we could take advantage for our own portal as well. So smart properties basically allow you to customize the data returned by Breeze Intelligence. So I was thinking about a couple of applications prior to this webinar, and I actually, again, salesperson in me is coming up with ideas about prospecting. So again, probably influenced by all the intent stuff, I was thinking that actually you could use it to identify maybe recent funding activity or maybe a new product launch. So what you can do is write your prompt. You can see the screenshot here. So you create the new property, you write your prompt, you say where the data should come from, and then you can update that property with the information returned by Breeze Intelligence. So again, as I said, maybe things for prospecting you could use as recent funding or new product launches. But also if you're selling technologies, maybe it's identifying from your prospects if they're using that technology already or not. There's so many applications for this. I thought it's a really good one, and that's currently in beta as well at the moment.
Yet CSAT.
Yeah.
So this one, I have to hold up my hand and say I spent quite a lot of time hacking around trying to find these properties, and I couldn't. But I think it does, once it starts working, it's going to fill a gap, because so when you're talking to a client or a prospect, and they're somebody that's pretty peeved or angry with the world, you want to be able to see that if they've got a 2 on their CSAT rating, it's going to change the approach that you have to that conversation. So I think once you can find that, if you're using Service Pro, then definitely it's basically a property card you can add to the right hand side, so that we can see the customer satisfaction details. The next one, I think we're going to demo. So I'm going to steal your share. Um, Now I suppose we're kind of going into the slightly nerdy aspect. So this one could be one for some of your developers or otherwise. But we now have this object library in HubSpot where we can see the objects that we've got. And if you need to get to that, we're basically getting down to object library. The data model is kind of hidden away up here, but if you click on it, you'll see that we've got the data model, and we can see our various objects down here. We can click on things really nicely. We can dig in. So actually, when people are asking you questions, or you're trying to provide specs for an integration, then we can actually see what's going on here. We also have this lovely new option to edit the data model. So from here, let's say we've got our company object, we can drop down. Look at this. We can see our most used properties. We can see recently created custom properties. So got the ability to do a little bit of digging around, a little bit of policing, working out what's going on in the portal. And this is very much a me thing, probably, because the first custom object I built in HubSpot took me 3 days, because I had to learn how to write the code. I had to learn how to set up the postman, all of this stuff. But look at this now. You can build a custom object straight away just from the data model. Not only that, the biggest thing people forget when they're building custom objects is associations, and you can do the associations from here.
I
You
think
don't
that's where
have
it
to click
helps.
into
More
something
visual.
else.
Yeah.
It's the visual, but with custom objects, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So think through custom objects. Don't just create them, because they can make a mess. But data model builder, really useful. Show it to your tech team. They'll be very excited.
Right, I'm now going to do another quick demo for our next update. So I'm really excited about this one in a geeky kind of way. Lists are now a data source when you are building custom reports. So I think this was a really widely requested update. So you can see here it's in beta, but as well as obviously contact company deals, you now will be able to see lists. So just to do this one, I've just used obviously list as my primary data source, but I've also used a contact as a secondary data source, and a really simple one. I've just wanted to look at members of my list and in a visual way see where they're based in what state they're based in the US. So it's just a very simple application. But you could input a number of lists. So across 5 different lists, maybe you want to show list growth over time, in addition to maybe lead score or something like that. So there's lots of applications. So really excited for this one, and this is for pro and above. But yes, in beta as well. The next one is Unified Data Privacy Request Management. So this is now live. It's one that we mentioned when it was in beta, but basically admins can configure a data privacy request page so that contacts can submit data privacy requests and deletions as well. And what's great about this is if you're a large organization and you have a number of people who are doing this, you can assign requests to individual people and you can keep track on them. So there's a log in HubSpot of when it was assigned, when it was actioned, and obviously if it's just requesting data, then you can see the log of the data. If it's a deletion, you won't be able to see the contact anymore. But I think it's really helpful in organizations where there's a number of people who are responsible for the data privacy requests as well, to make sure that that's done as well. Next up, we have target markets. That's not the one I thought was going to be next, but that's okay. So basically, HubSpot has rebranded target markets. They're now just called simply markets, and it's a sort of a centralized home within your settings. Before it was in the buyer intent, but now it's just under markets. And as I hinted to earlier, there's a limit being introduced for 20 different markets. So again, just a sort of minor change there, but worth mentioning. The next one is property control in record mergers. This one I've really liked. Prior to this, you could only choose one record or the other, whereas now you can see, hopefully from the screenshot here, you could choose a primary record or a master record, but from the other record, you could choose to keep one particular or two particular, whatever number, from properties from the other record as well. So this has been a really a good one, I think, as well. That's now live across all hubs. This one, I can't remember who was doing this one. Chris, shall I take it?
Oh yeah, why not?
Yeah, so this one again,
small but mighty.
I think from a marketer's point of view, I feel quite passionate about this one. But when you are preparing to export the file out of HubSpot, you can name the file. So now no longer you get the system generated file name, which you may then update later. You can do it directly in here. Again, love this one. A little bit of time saved. Really, yeah, nice update. Small but mighty, as you would say, Chris.
Small but mighty. It's yeah, naming conventions. We love naming conventions because otherwise you just download the same thing 18 times because you can't find it anywhere. This one, I'm interested. People, tell me what you think of this one in the chat pane. I'm gonna still share. We're actually gonna just have a quick look at this. Just because. So this was one that I just couldn't work out what it was for. I really want this.
We had a bit of a chat about this.
I want this for the leads object, but they've given it to us. So, like I say, interested in what people think about this. So we've got our company record page, we've got our contact record page, but now, like deals, we can view it on the board.
Yeah,
and that's nice, isn't it?
It's nice, yeah, but we're not.
And we're not quite sure. So I am totally excited to have people hit me up on LinkedIn, whatever it is, let me know. What are you going to use it for? I think the only thing so far is that it can really make it important to consider your life cycle stages and perhaps revisit them, automate everything and make it so they're actually meaningful. And then when you're looking at these board views, you can see companies in different stages. But apart from that, yeah, it's not 100% sure what we're going to be doing with it. Couple of very quick ones. We've been able to do this with Zoom, but we can sync Microsoft Team meeting recordings and transcripts to HubSpot. And likewise, we can do the same with Google Meet, and these are going to go into HubSpot's conversation intelligence. Definitely a reason to make sure your teams all have HubSpot connected to their meetings tools and their emails and everything, because the more of this fabulous unstructured data that we can drag in from the outside world, the better your HubSpot system's going to be performing. Onto Marketing Hub.
Yeah.
And this one's yours.
It
You
is.
can.
So we want to, this one's going to be about starting campaigns with AI. So again, let me share my screen and not creating workflows. 1 second. Yeah, apologies. Right, starting campaigns with AI. So basically in your campaign, you can simply upload a brief. You click start with AI, or you can just describe your campaign and insert key details, so things like the name, the goal, the audience, etc. And then you can also recommend assets, and then HubSpot will automatically start your campaign. So again, a great deal of time saved with this. I think it's we were saying, I think it'll encourage people to use campaigns more, because setting up a campaign is time consuming, quite manual, and you have to copy and paste your entire strategy over. And there's no way to leverage existing external documents or descriptions. So I think with this new entry point, it sort of takes away all that and just streamlines everything. So again, this one's in beta, so you'll need to opt in if you want to start using it. But yeah, it could hopefully encourage a more use of campaigns throughout your companies. Next one is a new workflow experience. So this one has taken me quite a while to get used to. So when I create a workflow, this is now the view that you'll see, and the workflow process basically triggers in the actual workflow, and then you can browse different triggers up front. The biggest thing about this new workflow process is that allows you to change objects mid-flow, whereas previously you couldn't do that. You had to exit the workflow, delete what you'd done, and restart. So I do think that this is quite good, but it's taken me a while to get used to it. Yeah, I don't know if you've got anything else
No,
to add on that one.
absolutely. First time I went into that, I thought they've taken a step backwards. It's bare, it's minimalist. I can't see anything, but
Yeah,
I think it's actually much more intuitive. I think the difficulty I found is where it says manual trigger only, and you sort of, oh, what do I do? But
yeah,
go with it. If you've got a sandbox or a test portal, then go and have a play. Don't play workflows in your live production portal, because that can lead to chaos. But
yeah.
it's nice. The fact you can change objects is
Yeah.
so exciting.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest benefit, really. But yeah, whenever there's a navigational change or anything like that, it does take a while to get used to. And I find actually getting onto the betas and getting used to it as soon as possible is often the best thing to do, just by using it. Cool. Uh, we have some new modern marketing email templates. I just want to flag that, because often I think marketing teams get used to using the same templates all over and over. But have a look. There's some new modern responsive email templates there. There could be some that might be useful to you. Those are available to everyone. Clip editor. So we did cover this when it was in beta previously, but it's just much easier to create short form clips from within HubSpot. And you can do that by, for example, editing the transcripts, as you can see here as well. Free from prompting. Again, just another example of AI being built into work stream, this time in content remix. Again, it allows you to put in sort of custom instructions about how to manipulate your content, just like you would do elsewhere within HubSpot as well. Lookalike lists. This one, again, very excited about. So when you are creating lists, You can sort of amplify, as you can do on sort of Facebook, etc., to with a lookalike audience. Here, you can create a lookalike audience within a list. I think it's really exciting. Again, just really early days in terms of us trying to sort of play around with it, but I think it's really good so far. When you choose lookalike list, you select your end list target size. So if you go smaller there, you'll get a closer match with your audience. If you choose bigger, you obviously can widen your reach. You can still exclude contacts you don't want on the new list. But I don't know, that might be current customers or maybe non-marketing contacts. You can include list seed members in the final lookalike list as well. And it's really quick. I think as always with HubSpot, they make it very easy to use. And then the output list also gives you a similarity column as well to see which contacts are the most similar in your output list compared to those in the seed list as well. So I think really exciting to start to use that as well. Oh, the next one. Love this one. Small but amazing. So if you have created a static list, previously you couldn't convert it to an active list. So what you could do is convert an active to static, but not a static to an active. So it's really annoying when you created a list and you realize you need to edit the criteria on a static list. You weren't able to, whereas now you just have, in fact, I think I had a list here. Yeah, so I've got one here where it's a static list, and all I need to do now is go to actions and convert it to an active. So really, really easy to do and saves you rebuilding lists as well.
Again, it's just
Good one, that one.
little time saving things, getting rid of frustrations, which just makes everything a lot easier.
Yeah.
This one, we now have the power, and if you're using marketing events, you'll notice this has actually already been added to your records to the right-hand side. If you can't see the card, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you can then go up to the top and do customization. But it basically just means we've got visibility of the events that people have been attending or not attending. So I don't know, are we using it for this?
Yes,
Are
and
we
I think
keeping a record of
it's very
everyone?
useful if I put myself in the sort of sales team. If you ask your admin or just customize your own view to have marketing events sort of slightly further up, so you can see if there are any upcoming or any that just passed that a contact might have attended as well. I think it's a great way to kind of embed that more with it across the sales and marketing team.
Nice, nice. And again, it's all about visibility and customizing records and making sure we customize records for the team that are looking at the record.
Yes.
I sound like a broken record there, but the difference it makes is astonishing. Um, Next, we're on to MAM, multi-account management. MAM is exciting for those of you that have got an enterprise portal. You're basically getting the functionality of an enterprise portal to connect other portals to it, so we can have data exchange, configuration, and asset copying across. So it almost then makes it something that thought about: do we want to have what are they calling business units these days, brands, different brands in the same portal? Do we want completely separate portals where we can actually completely govern the data flow? So yeah, if you're going around acquiring companies, this might be a really, really useful and
Yeah,
very powerful update for you.
that's definitely one use case for sure. Um, So we've got a new site speed dashboard, which I think is exciting. Maybe something for you to monitor and work with your IT teams on, but you can see real user data from this and live from this site speed dashboard as well. And yeah, as I said, work with your IT team potentially to optimize load times and improve user experience. So you can easily see, which pages are actually slow for your visitors, if your site's getting faster or slower over time as well. There's stats on there on different devices as well. And it just basically allows you to sort of focus where you might want to spend your time for the biggest impact as well.
Is this, I think Adrian asking, do you know if this is for HubSpot websites only, or do you know if it works on the HubSpot sites? I'm going to guess
Um,
not.
Good question. I would say not, but I can double check and get back to you, Adrian. Um, I believe it's just by the HubSpot websites. It's a good question.
Next we're on to Sales
Sales.
Hub. What do we got first? Oh, right. Prepare, review, and follow up. But this is just.
I know, it's great.
I am so excited by this and the fact that it's developing. I think what we'll do, we've got time. We'll just dip briefly into it just to give you a flavour. I've actually found one that is safe to show because it doesn't have anybody's details on. But I've got this is a meeting I had yesterday. I've got recording and transcripts. I can see the speakers. I've got my guided follow-up actions with AI. I can share the recording. I can set my outcomes, associations, and I've got all the info and insights about that meeting, and they're all in one place. So essentially, I can prepare for my meeting beforehand. I can conduct my meeting, and then I can do all the follow up without having to leave the HubSpot interface. And again, that word seamless, but we're actually able to just do all of this stuff. And again, we're adding more data into HubSpot. The AI is being fed, and all that unstructured data is then being used, and we can use that as data sources to power all of the other things that we want to do. So that's really exciting stuff. The next one, again, just something that you might not have thought about, but we've been able to do deep analysis on our marketing emails, but we've never been able to report on sales emails unless we're using templates. We can now report. We use activity as the type, so we're using the custom report builder rather than single object. And we're going to use activity as the primary object. And you'll see we've now got reply rate, click rate, open rate. And we can actually look at our team and see whose emails are working. Amy, you lead a sales team. Would you be interested in this sort of thing to see if your team is
100%.
sending good
Yeah,
emails?
yeah. It's a huge thing because obviously a lot of this functionality was heavily used in the marketing side of things, but you hadn't been able to do it in quite the same way for sales. So again, you can compare perhaps different reps against each other. You can we would talk about testing as well yesterday, Chris, as well. It helps you identify trends. Yeah, just making even more data to help you optimize your comm strategy.
It's the big one, isn't it? And you can start to make these sort of fabulous and exciting reports. And again, visibility is everything. Guided execution of activities in the sales workspace as opposed to anywhere else. For those of you that have sales teams using the sales workspace, and it's definitely something to start getting your teams to lean into because, again, I trained a team on this yesterday and it has the wow factor. I think one of the questions was, so I don't have to know about any of the other stuff. I just go in here. Yeah, your leads are going to appear in there. With the guided execution, we're actually helping people to do their jobs. So again, things like new rep ramp time, we can get people to be effective with all of the tools we've got in here, guided execution, things like playbooks, all of the AI working behind the scenes. Your new rep is starting on day one and they're effective on day two. So I think there's huge benefits to all of this stuff. On the subject of the sales workspace, and we're going to show you this one just to kind of put it in context and give you an idea of why you might use it. So sales workspace is under sales. Now, previously we had summary, prospecting, deals, task schedule, and feeds, and that is, again, most of what a salesperson needs. They can pick up their leads, they can work their deals, they can see what they're doing. We've now got the ability to add a dashboard to this sales workspace. So when we were talking about them not having to go elsewhere, to talk slowly while whatever is happening here. Look at this.
Oh, it's having a good old thing.
I broke
Yeah.
HubSpot again.
Oh dear.
Um, okay, so I'll just have to just. There we go.
Oh, there we
So
go.
what I've got for my rep here is they've got everything that they're doing, but I've also added their KPI dashboard in here, so they can actually look and see what their conversion rates are. So you can build the dashboard, design that perfect sales rep, keep them excited, keep them going dashboard, and they're not gonna have to go elsewhere. So all the moaning about the CRM is just gonna start going away. Really, really powerful stuff. And I think in concert with, I'll hand this one. This one's one of yours, Amy. But again, another little thing that's making a huge difference in the system.
Yeah, so before we were constrained just to some HubSpot created views, whereas now you can create your own custom view. So for sales, this has been great. So you can add an additional custom filter criteria and save those. So whether you want to maybe prioritize particular industries or etc., you can do that now through these views, whereas you, as I said before, were limited to the ones that HubSpot has already created. So a win in my book.
And then we'll go drum roll.
Yes.
Oh,
So this one is I think going to be huge. Lots of celebrations when we join the beta on this one as well. So yeah, HubSpot. You can turn on a meeting note taker. Note this is in beta still. So you'll need to opt into it, but it just means that conversations are automatically recorded, transcribed, and stored to the contact records in HubSpot. So the way it works when you turn it on, the meeting note taker automatically joins newly scheduled meetings to all external contacts for all sales reps who have pro or enterprise seats, and they have their calendars connected in HubSpot. So your team can immediately see recordings, transcripts, summaries, action items right after meetings end. Member of my team did find one thing. We were trying to export a transcript, and that wasn't possible. But we fed that back to the product team, and it's something they're going to incorporate going forward. But otherwise, it's worked really well. It's definitely recommended. We seem to have some funky stuff going on with our Zoom HubSpot integration, which meant that not always were calls logged automatically in HubSpot, but now with this, it all seems to be very, very seamless. So really a big fan of this update as well.
looking back to the days when I just had a piece of paper with names on it and a telephone on my desk, sales reps, they don't know they've been born. Let's talk about Service Hub. Great view notes in help desk, and I think people are starting to really lean into a lot of the help desk and the customer success Service Hub functionality. We used to have comments in there, and we now have notes. So instead of comments,
Yeah, it's kind of it just makes it the same as other areas of
yeah.
HubSpot, really. It's not.
Another small update. We're kind of speeding up in
Yeah.
interest because we've got 6 minutes. The layout settings in the help desk, we can actually choose a layout. So again, making the system work for your team rather than making your team work to learn a new system. Let's make it easier for people to do their job. Today's insight feeds. streamlining access and consumption of Service Hub data. But once again, it's serving up the information that people need at the time that they need it to do their job more effectively. And if you're not getting the full use of Service Hub, then definitely get in touch with your account manager and just talk more about how you could be making use of some of these tools. Message analytics in the help desk summary tab, almost like you have on the deal board, but we can see things like customer wait time, rep wait time. What's our outgoing message peak? Do we need to have an extra member of the team on to deal with incoming messages at that peak of 11 a.m.? Data, insight, action. There's great stuff here. Ticket priority, again, we can see the urgent tickets. So we're making sure that angry customer we might lose, or that person that's really struggling, is actually getting looked after and they're not falling through the cracks. AI summaries on
this is
feedback.
a nice one. Yeah, this basically quickly surfaces maybe sentiment trends or trends in product and pricing feedback over time. Helps you identify recurring issues, that kind of thing. Sort of group by objects. So you might want to be looking at companies or deals, even maybe even tickets as well. So yeah, I think really good one for customer service leaders. And this one's a beta as well. So you need to opt into that one if you want to use it. The final two then, we've got our apps. So one of the ones we wanted to highlight only for enterprise and above is the OpenAI app for HubSpot now. So it lets you access your existing OpenAI account within HubSpot as well. So a really good one there if your company is using that. And then the last one is just a reminder to have a look at the app marketplace. But there's been a lot of new apps and updated apps as well. I think over 95 in total. So there's the HubSpot app marketplace is still rapidly expanding. I think some of the notable ones, Facebook Messenger is now compatible with the customer agent that we kind of mentioned earlier. The Fathom AI note taker as well syncs meetings directly to HubSpot. There's a G2 one. HeyGen, I think we mentioned as well. Microsoft Teams now supports registering for webinars through HubSpot Forms as well. So loads of interesting updates. So just a reminder to go back through the app marketplace and look and see what the updates are for your current apps and see if there are any new ones that you might be able to take advantage of. Yeah, it's exciting.
Okay, look at that. 2 minutes to go. Boom.
And we have a webinar coming up, don't we, Chris? It's you and I. I'm going to put just going to get the.
It's actually, I'm going to employ my new AI avatar to deliver this one.
Just putting the link there. So yes, in 15th of May, Chris and I are going through how you'll be able to use more of HubSpot's AI to help your team with their productivity. So please do come join us. If there are any questions or anything you want us to cover, please let us know. Yeah, we're really excited to
send us in your productivity problems and we'll see if we can find ways to solve them for you.
Brilliant. Cool. I think that's it.
It is.
Thank you, everyone. And we look forward to next month.
Yeah, hopefully that was useful. Thank you, folks. Right.
Bye.
Bye, folks. Bye.